Good morning and welcome to Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening's Sunday morning service. We are so glad you're tuning in with us this morning. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Lay all your fears and all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Can you feel the love of all who gathered round? You are worthy of this gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Well, who'd have known that who you are is enough? And who'd have known that you could be so loved? Well, we know. Now you know. Yes, we do. Now you know. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. So let's open our hearts this morning and welcome our dear friend Amy Steinberg to remind us to rise up out of the old paradigm and first to release and let go.
Good morning, Carolina. Center for Spiritual Awakening, awakening. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand, but now I can say, if you're feeling discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, but you've got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it all go. Just let it go. This is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. 'Cause with my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. I love ya. Should I go up, look down, and you probably fall down. Place your attention on where you want to be, and you will be there eventually. Look out, and you should I go out, look back, and you probably fall back. Place your focus on where you want to be, and you will be there so easily. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Yeah. Think good, and you're sure I feel good. Think love, you're probably falling in love. Watch your thoughts and choose carefully, and you will become, yes, you will be just what you wanna be. Woo! Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Look up, and you should I go up. Look down, and you probably fall down. Place your attention on where you want to be, and you will be there. Yes, I promise that you get there. Oh, know that you'll be there. Ooh, eventually. Rise.
Thank you, Amy. We love you very much. So let's just take a moment and continue that idea of letting go, leaving the past behind. Let's just take a moment now to consciously move into that space of willingness to release, to open and allow. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. I am letting go. I am healed, I am made whole. I the things that no longer serve me. I am letting go. I am healed, I am made whole. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. I am letting go. I am healed, I am made whole. I open in this now moment to let go of the things that no longer serve me. I open and I allow the spirit of love and truth and renewal to move through me. I bring my full attention to this moment as I say, thank you, God, for this beautiful life and all that came before this moment. And thank you for all that is in store. And so I remember the truth of my being. I remember that there is one power and one presence moving through all of life. And I'm letting go of the ideas of smallness, the ideas of doubt or fear or worry. Letting go of not just the small ideas or the limiting ideas, but just everything that came before this moment, letting only this moment, this holy instant, be my focus. And in that light of present moment awareness, I can see clearly who I am, whose I am. I am here to love and be loved. My presence is a gift. I'm remembering. I'm remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. So I rest in the remembering, the knowing that I am one with the one that created me, that I am co-creating an experience of life that is beautiful, that is joy-filled, that is love-led, and I simply allow it to be so. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Hey, I am Angie Snow, and today I'm reading an article that's called "To Heal, You Must Let Go of the Fear of Letting Go." And it starts out by saying, Imagine you're a backpacker traveling the world. One day you might be in the romantic streets of Switzerland, or perhaps you just left the bustling corners of Tokyo. With your arms gripped onto the back straps in front of you, on you go. And as you go, imagine getting several things and stuffing your backpack with them. Now your backpack is too heavy to be swung comfortably around your shoulders. It's burdensome, but you're attached to the contents in the bag. So instead of emptying it out, you opt to drag the backpack around instead. But now the ache in your back grows as the weight of the bag slows you down and you grow weary. So weary that you begin to wonder if the beautiful turquoise waters in, say, Jamaica are worth seeing after all. In this superficial analogy, the past is the backpack we're carrying around. It's lighter for some and heavier for others. Past memories are intricate and deep, and oftentimes we can't just drop them like items out of a backpack, even when we would like to. Loss, trauma, heartbreak, and failure. These are harrowing experiences that shape us and become the loudest echoes of our past. Letting go of these experiences can be especially difficult because over time they become a part of us, entangled and onto our identities. And the more we are reminded of the hardships, the more our choices begin to be influenced by them. Letting go forces us to change some aspects of ourselves, and that change can be scary. After all, uncertainty is scary. It's much more comfortable to stay put and not take any chances. Personally, I've had my own struggles with always letting go and moving forward. Approximately 3 years ago, I was in a relationship that I valued deeply and believed would last a lifetime. It was heartbreaking to see it deteriorate instead. I thought about it constantly, and I became hesitant to form connections with other people for fear that history would repeat itself. But in the end, all this did was isolate me from others and became gravely depressed. It took me more than a year until I started making attempts to form new connections and improve the ones I already had. As I did this, my depression gradually subsided, and I realized the only thing that fear had done for me was hold me back. We can let our fear of letting go be a stumbling block or a stepping stone. But to do so requires healing. If you choose to make it a stepping stone, hopefully you'll find some beneficial advice here. First, you must acknowledge the past, whatever it may be, and confront it as best you can. Do not allow it to loom over you like a monster you're fleeing from. Remember, it happened, but it's no longer happening. Ignoring or suppressing it will only lead to disrupting certain aspects of your life you most likely won't even be aware of. So if there are any necessary actions to be taken, take them. Do you have a conversation with someone you are in strife with to set yourself at ease? Is there something you need to get off your chest? Speaking about the past, whether that be with friends or a therapist, is a good way to release whatever emotions you're hoarding from that experience. Releasing these emotions are the first step in letting go. Then ask yourselves, what can I take away from this experience? Regardless of how negative that situation may have been, think of the positives. Is there something to be learned? Instead of dwelling on what could have been or what was, think of what can come. What you can get out of the situation that will be a benefit to you in the future. What you can do to tailor that distressing experience into something empowering. You may have to look hard sometimes, but surely there are benefits. For example, although you've been dumped by someone you saw yourself spending the rest of your life with, at least now you can devote the time spent with them actively pursuing the professional career you want. Dwell on the positives, no matter how little they may seem. It may help you way more than being stuck on the negatives or the what ifs ever will. Finally, strive to live in the present. The present is more important than the past, so make it your focus. The past is gone and the present is here. Occupy yourself with activities you enjoy and make new memories that will make you happy to look back on. Oftentimes, we can't help but ruminate on the possibilities, but the truth is that it gets us nowhere. Ultimately, we can't change the past, but we can only control our actions in the present. So dedicate your time to pursuing your desires and creating the future you would like to see. Think of yourself as a backpacker traveling the world. Bring along what is useful and leave behind any weight that will only make your journey more strenuous. Travel smart and travel light. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Angie, for the reading, and we will be using that metaphor in just a moment about the backpack and releasing the things that are holding us down in our backpack. And so it's a great time to look at that since we just celebrated the winter solstice. Happy Kwanzaa, by the way, which starts today. Happy Kwanzaa. And hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a Happy New Year. But I did want to talk about winter solstice, one of the oldest, probably the oldest holiday that's been celebrated. It goes all the way back to the Stone Ages, that the winter solstice has been a time of celebration. It's a time of celebration because it's like, woo, here we go. Back in the Stone Age, they were celebrating because, woo, we're going to have more daylight. They're going to have more sun for the crops. We're not going to starve and freeze to death and die. So, but symbolically, a returning of the light, right? We can look at that on a spiritual level and talk about the returning of the light to the dark moments of our lives. So it's a time to reflect and really look at what am I carrying? If I have a backpack and I'm going on these little walkabouts and I pick up little things here and there and I put them in my backpack, and then I start to get weighed down, and then all the things start to accumulate that I don't even remember what all I have in there at some point, right? So using that as an analogy, start thinking about, if you would, reflecting on what am I carrying around? There's a wonderful practice of decluttering your home by moving through your home and holding items and saying, does this bring me joy? Or maybe even just looking at the item and saying, does it bring me a loving thought to remember where I got that, who gave it to me, what it means to me? If not, why is it in your home, right? The same is true for our thoughts. If they're not bringing you joy, if they're not lifting you up, if they're not loving thoughts, why are they in your home, in your body temple? Let them go. Pull them out of the backpack, release. So a time of reflection, release, and a returning of the light. When you think about the clutter, let's look at that for a second. When you think about the clutter in your mind, we're talking about thoughts that are just in the way. You may be moving forward on a new job, a new trajectory, a new purpose, a new relationship, a new, whatever it is. And then you may have these old thoughts coming up of that's too good to be true. Yeah, but what if? Oh, I really made this decision kind of quickly. What if it was the wrong one? Just all the ways that we doubt ourselves, all the ways that we get junked up in here, like a hoarder hoarding all these things that aren't serving, right? We can do that in our minds with our thoughts. So at this time of reflection and release and return, let's look at what is cluttering up our mind. And I also want to talk about the fact that clutter has a connection to trauma. So if you had any trauma in your life, there's a trauma response that sometimes causes physical clutter in your home, maybe because buying things brings you a relief, or maybe because a sentimentality of an item brings you relief. And you can kind of get attached to your clutter. And then inevitably it's going to cause you stress because it's junking up the pathways of your home. So it's going to cause you stress, which triggers your trauma. And then here you go in this cycle that just keeps going and going and going. So I'm encouraging you literally, physically, to clean out your wallet, clean out your car, clean out your garage, clean out your house. This is a wonderful time. I know they say spring cleaning is when you can do that, but how about do it right now? Take the time right now to declutter your world. And what will start to happen is you'll start to then realize the clutter that's going on in your mind. The clutter that's going on in your mind can also be relieved through prayer and meditation, through being in silence. Silence. I remember one time I had Dr. James Golden come to my first spiritual center and lead a retreat, which was predominantly in silence. And the first thing he did is he came into the room after about 30 minutes after the start time, so he'd given people time to kind of stew and sit and wonder what's going on. And then he comes in and he sits down in front of everyone and he closes his eyes and he just Sat there for another, I don't know, it felt like forever. Probably was only 5 minutes, but it was a little while. And then he opened his eyes and he said, "Was that uncomfortable?" And everyone was uncomfortable because we're so used to stimulus. A lot of times, pay attention. You'll realize you don't even watch a whole movie without looking at your phone. You don't have a conversation or a dinner without having your phone nearby. It's time to declutter and come back to the essence of who we are so that we can operate from that essence instead of all of the reactions to the stimulus constantly going on around us. And if we don't spend this time reflecting, releasing, and returning to the light without all the distractions and the clutter and the things that take us away from the essential self, what happens is we start to bond with the things that we don't want. We start to bond with what isn't working. I'll give you a silly example. I guarantee you the majority of you had a conversation that went something like this recently, or at least at some point in your life, but many people, every year this happens. "Hey, neighbor, how you doing?" "Yeah, good. You ready for Christmas?" "Oh, no, not at all." "Yeah, me either, man. How'd it sneak up on us so fast?" "I don't know. Here we are like 2 days away. I don't know." Right? Have you ever had that conversation? We bond over things that aren't working. Look at your life and start paying attention to the places where you bond with people over. That's why gossip has so much energy. We bond over things that aren't working. Try spiritual gossip. Spiritual gossip is telling all the good things. "Have you seen Robin? Man, that girl she's lost weight. She got down to her ideal weight, which is what she was affirming for herself. She looks fantastic." "What about James? Have you seen him? He's got that new house that he just manifested. I know he's doing great." "What about Susie? I know she is just always so peaceful, so calm, and so loving." "What about Tim? I know, man, he always brings such love and positivity to the room. You know, he does so much for so many people, and he's so humble and loving." That's the kind of gossip. That doesn't clutter up your mind. But thinking about everybody's drama and everybody's story and being all in it and bonding over what isn't working in your own life and what isn't working in someone else's life, that just tears you down. Tears you down, tears others down, and it clutters up your mind and takes you off your center. So, it was that time of year, so of course I pulled out my DVD of It's a Wonderful Life, brushed it off, put it in the player, had to watch it. It's a requirement at least once a year. It's my favorite Christmas movie. And I love it so much, but I had a new insight about this movie this year. Did you know that George Bailey prays in that movie? He prays twice. And the first one he prays, just show me. And you know, if you know me, you know I'm going to do a whole, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you what happens in the movie. So if you haven't seen it, sorry about that. But George Bailey, in this movie, he's just found out that, I won't give it all away, just in case you haven't seen this wonderful classic. But anyway, he has just found out that something really bad has happened for his business and for his family and for his life. And he sees no way out. He sees no way out. And he's just like, one last thing before he decides to jump off a bridge and end it all. He's sitting there and he decides he'll pray and he'll say, I don't do this much, but if you're out there, please God, show me. So the first prayer is show me, which is a prayer that I always tell people and encourage people to pray. We call it treatment, and the way that we pray is called treatment. It's affirmative prayer, treating our consciousness to a new idea. But I tell folks, consider praying this kind of prayer, show me, as in treating for clarity and then the courage to act on what you get clear on. So here he is, he's praying for clarity. He's saying, show me. And then what happens? This dude punches him. Again, not going to give away the whole movie, but right then he's praying and this guy knocks his lights out. His lips bleeding. He's laying on the floor and he's like, thanks a lot, God. Right? So surrender feels really scary sometimes, and we muster up just enough courage to surrender. If we're thinking of what we want to release, we've reflected and we're looking at what we want to release, and we start to this surrender process. And then sometimes it feels like after we pray this prayer of surrender, we get kicked while we're down, like George Bailey. And that's when we have to keep going. That's when we have to keep going and keep trusting and keep surrendering and keep saying, show me. Keep saying, show me. Don't give up if it feels like you're kicked when you're down. We all feel that sometimes. We all feel like George Bailey sometimes. We don't talk about it. A lot of people don't talk about it. But more people than you can possibly imagine have thought about jumping off that bridge, have thought about taking their own life. In that moment, it can feel like the only option. I'm here to encourage you to know that it's not the only option. I felt it myself in my life, and I'm so grateful, so thankful that I realized it wasn't the only option. So George Bailey, here he is, he's just surrendered, and he gets hit while he's down, and he's mad, right? I mean, understandably so. And so he's just like, forget it. Goes to the bridge, he's ready to end it all, and there comes Clarence, the angel sent to show him the way, to help him out, and Clarence jumps in instead. So then George kicks in, and he jumps in, not to end his life, but to save this person who's just jumped off the bridge. This angel, turns out, named Clarence. And then he gets to see what his life would have been like if he had never been born. Okay, so I am giving the whole thing away, but surely you've seen this classic. It's fantastic. So here he is. He gets to see what everything would have been like if he had never been born. Because he says, I just don't want to be here. My life's worth more to my family if it's gone. He's got his insurance policy in his pocket. And so he's telling this angel this. And so the angel says, okay, I grant your wish. You were never born. And so he gets to see what his life was like, but not just his life. I mean, well, not his life because he wasn't born, his family's lives. Not just their lives, but the town, the people that he knew. So he gets, all of a sudden, it goes from being Bedford Falls, which is just this community, right? This place of where people stand together. They're happy. They're always being there for one another. They're believing in possibility. It's all about love and charity and goodness. It goes from being Bedford Falls to being Potterville. Potterville. By Mr. Potter, the curmudgeon who wants to take everybody's money and more for him, and he doesn't care who does without. Potterville is all about oppression. It's bleak. It's depressing. It's everyone for themselves. It's everyone's poor and lonely and hurting because one person wasn't born. He gets to see the decisions that he made helped this Potter guy from taking over and making it Potterville instead of Bedford Falls. He also gets to see how all these different people's lives were different. One man went to jail, another and became an alcoholic. Another man never got the home of his dreams, just on and on and on. His wife never married and found love. Of course, his kids weren't born, on and on, right? We make a difference in each other's lives. You are important and you matter. And we have the opportunity to really, really sink into knowing that and reminding each other of that. Reach out to your friends. This is not an easy time for everyone. So reach out. Reach out to your friends. Let them know that you love them. Reach out to your friends that you know that struggle with depression, but also reach out to your happy friends. Reach out to your happy friends. Make sure you tell people you love them. In this time of reflection, reflect on the people whose lives have made a difference in your life and tell them. In this time of release resentments and places of unforgiveness and let it heal. Let it be okay, and let the light that's always been there return to shine through you as you. So this second prayer that George Bailey prays after he gets to see like how different things would have been without him is, let me live, God. Please let me live. Let me live. Why? Because he loved deeply all of his people in his town. He loved his town, his friends, his family, his kids. He loved, and that love gave him joy in his life. He found the joy for living by seeing all of the things that was created just by him being there and him being able to share that love. He found his joy for living, and he said, please, God, let me live, right? It's time as we reflect and release and return to the light within that we say, please, let me live, but we're saying it to ourselves. Let me live. Let me get out of my own way. Let me declutter all of the things that I consistently pull in to get in my way in the form of beliefs and thoughts and patterns. Let me declutter my life in the form of people that tear me down and replace them with people that lift me up. Bless you. Go with God, preferably now, if you're not lighting my flame and lifting me up, right? Let us live. And let us live to serve and to love and to be there for one another. And if you need help, please ask. So, from Pottersville to Bedford Falls, right? We've all had the Potterville experiences of our lives where we felt that bleak time. But we get the opportunity to continually create the Bedford Falls experience of our own environment, our own community, a community of love and service, a community of show me, give me the clarity and then the courage to act on it, and let me live a life of joy. Once George Bailey found his joy for living by thinking about all of the people that he loved so much and how he wanted to be alive so he could be there in their lives. Once he found his joy for living, he was even grateful for his problems. He was like grateful he had a bloody lip. He was grateful he had his sick daughter's rose petals in his pocket. He was grateful that he had crashed his car. He was grateful that the tax examiner was looking for him and the police were. He was grateful even for his problems once he found the joy for living. We have to continually clean out, y'all. We got to continually declutter, release, and return to the light. Reflect, release, return to the light. Reflect on life continually, constantly assessing, without blaming or judging, but assessing, where am I? How am I? Who am I in this moment? And releasing guilt, shame, unworthiness, self-doubt, destructive patterns, and bonding with what isn't working. And returning to the light of awareness, that light that is within us that never left, even in the dark moments of our lives when it felt like it did. It's still in there. And we just need to fan that flame and surround ourselves with people that will help us do the same. Know that you're loved. Know that you matter. Shine your light. And when you feel like it's gone out, reach out. Let someone fan your flame because it's still there. We love you. Namaste. It's been 3 years almost since I walked across this bridge. That night I found myself towing along the edge, thinking maybe this would be the way I'd take my life, knowing something must change soon. Thought it would be that night, but as I looked down to the cars below, something changed my mind. Was it fear or bravery or a power of a different kind? Was it fear or bravery or a power of a different kind? Glad to be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. I still remember how the night air felt as it raced across my face. How the burn of the cold in my cheeks was the only feeling I stood there, threw up my arms, eyes closed and crying, thinking about the easy way out, about giving up and dying. I'm a little bit older, a whole lot wiser, glad to be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. Standing here on this bridge, heart and soul realized.